Hello friends, today I'm going to give you a quick guide to a few things to think about before launching your own candle or home fragrance business. Now this is slightly based off my own personal experience, but is also largely based off a lot of the things that I see people asking about on Reddit, things I've gotten from other business owners that I've helped coach or mentor or given advice to, other people I've seen at craft fairs or just interacted with through social media, plus my experience on the other side as a store owner, because you see a lot of brands come and go. A lot of people reached out to me, even brands that I carried and products that seemingly did okay that just didn't make it. And it is tough out there. This is a very oversaturated market. Everyone is out there thinking that they can make their own candle brand, that it can be successful, that it's super easy, because candle making itself is not that hard. I don't have my candle tutorial out yet because I have been slacking on making that video. Those ones require a lot more production than a video like this. But if you've watched my room spray or diffuser video, you know that it's actually not that difficult of a process to make the product itself. People are failing to differentiate themselves within the industry, thinking that they can just recycle the same old products and that they'll instantly make a lot of money. And that is just not happening. All the time I see people on Reddit begging for help because they're not making any money in their business. So a few things to think about. The first one is, what is your unique approach? What is your selling point? It cannot be hand poured. Every single crappy candle out there is hand poured. While that does mean something to a certain number of people, that will never be the thing that secures a sale. So you have to think about the features of your product in two categories: the supporting features and the selling features. The selling features are the most important, and that's what most brands lack. They're out there with only supporting features. Things like, it's all natural, it's soy wax, there's no parabens, it's hand poured, and they don't have any of the selling features. If you lack the supporting features, it may stop someone who was already going to make a purchase from purchasing. Someone has your product in hand, they love it, they find out that it is not phthalate free, and so they decide not to make the purchase. However, if someone's just standing in a store and you tell them this is phthalate free, that will not make them pick it up and decide to purchase. The unique fragrance, the way that the product performs, the way that it looks, those are the selling features of your product. If you lack those, your product won't get sales. Essentially what I am saying to you is, do not just do the same tired old thing that everyone else is doing. Let's take oak moss and amber candles as an example. Let's put some of those up on screen. Oh wow, yeah, there's a lot of them, and they're all the same product. And you can buy that fragrance oil right here, or here, or here, and many other places. And already there are successful companies like PF Candle Co., a brand that is in a lot of stores and does a lot of business, that you're gonna have to compete against if that's the product you wanna make. Almost every other store that I go visit when I am doing my sales pitches for my wholesale side of the business has an oak moss and amber candle. Now the store owners probably don't know how cheap and how easy that is to produce, and that they're not carrying anything unique. So I've worked it into my sales pitch to explain I am making my own scents, and that is unique to me. Most other brands are just buying a generic wholesale fragrance oil and using that. And so someone else can probably do it cheaper, better, faster, easier, more consistent, with better branding, with better packaging, with more money to spend in marketing, or something that you cannot do. It is far easier to create a unique product than try to create the same product and battle against a big brand. Do not try and do that. Stay away from creating the same things that other people are already doing. They have the same exact jar, these mason jar candles. Oh my goodness. These same tired room spray bottles that look so ugly. Can I just show you mine really quick? Can I show you what a good bottle looks like? That is a sellable product. When I show this to someone, they haven't seen it before. I have something new to offer. So I don't care if they've never carried room sprays or if they have 100 brands, they don't have this. And so that creates opportunity for me. When I set this on a shelf next to other brands' products, it stands out. That's how it generates sales. And frankly, if you can't create anything unique, what are you trying to do with the business? Especially if you don't have any ability to do anything unique with scent. Why are you getting into the home fragrance or fragrance business? It doesn't make sense. Imagine if I went to investors and I said, hey, I want to start a car brand because I love cars. And they said, oh, okay, well, what type of engine are you going to put in? What type of transmission? And I said, I have no idea. I don't know how a car works. I don't even know what the transmission actually does. I know it's in there, but I figure I could just buy all that stuff from Ford. I would get laughed out of the office. No one would take me serious. So why would you think that anyone will take you serious if you show up and you say, hey, I'm going to buy the same oils as everyone else and do the same thing and I'm going to make a lot of money? I don't mean to sound overly harsh. I know it's exciting to think about starting a business, and there's nothing wrong with learning how to make candles using those generic oils. And there's nothing wrong with getting practice and even selling to family and friends with those things. But that is a hobby, not a business. And a lot of people sell something to their friends, to their family, and then they say, oh, I can just replicate this with everyone else. And then they show their product to a stranger and they don't like it. They go to a business, they go to street fairs, they do these things and don't make any money, lose a lot of money, and I don't want that to happen to you. So create something unique, create something that stands out. Don't just do the same thing that everyone else is doing. And do not fall for the fallacy of what you see most sells most. Let me explain that. If you go to your local street fair, farmer's market, anything like that, okay, most of those businesses do not make money. And ask people, say, hey, listen, I am a new business owner. I'm thinking of doing something like this. Could I ask you, like, I know it's personal, but how much are you doing? What do you expect in sales? And most of them will get really awkward and really shy because they're not making anything. I thought the same thing. And I do events, and I do amazing at events. I wish if I could just like up the number of events. There's just not a lot of ones that I can go to. But I would not even do wholesale. If I could do just like 3 events a week that are the same quality as the ones that I already do once or twice a month, I'd just do that 3 times a week and I would have a great and easy life and make a ton of money and it would be awesome. So I thought I'll go to street fairs, and I didn't make any money. I made like $20 for standing out there the whole day because it's just not super high producing. There are some that are really hard to get into, that are super competitive, that do a lot of money, but it takes years, and people grind for years going out there every weekend not making anything at a hope that one day they'll turn a profit. And I don't want that for you. So just because you see a product that like is out there a lot, that doesn't mean it's doing well. That doesn't mean that it's making sales. And it can be hard because sometimes the things that sell the best are the hardest to see because it might be out of stock. It might not be sitting on shelves for you to see. So it can be a fallacy to think that Oh, I walked in 5 stores, they all had these candles, you know, in the mason jar screw top with just a little sticker on them. So I can just do that and that will sell. But that doesn't mean those candles are moving at all in that store. They may have bought those 2 years ago and they're still sitting there not selling. It doesn't mean that it makes money. And you need to think as a business owner, what is going to make me money? Because that's the most important thing. If you want to have a hobby, if you want to just do it for fun, then you can do whatever you want. But I think that even still would be more reason to try and get creative, try and do something really cool or really unique or really fun, because you don't have to worry about the turning a profit aspect of it. I do something super cool. I try and find something super niche, super fun, super creative to do and double down on that if I'm not worried about turning a profit. But if you are trying to turn a profit, get your containers made in bulk. Oh, I don't have the money for that. Businesses cost money. If you don't have the money to start a business, don't start a business, okay? If you need money, go get a job. If you have money that you want to turn into more money through a lot of hard work, start a business. But if you just need a paycheck, go get a job. I know it sounds crazy. I'm an entrepreneur. Most of you should just go get a job. Business is hard. Most of them don't succeed. It costs a tremendous amount of money to start a business. I did mine as bare bones and cheap as possible, and even still, that was like $20,000-ish. And that's to get in a few stores. Now, if I had had $200,000, I probably could, already be turning a lot better profit. It would have happened a lot faster. I could have made a lot more progress in a lot less time. Would have taken a lot less sweat equity. But realistically, to start a candle business, bare bones, absolute minimum is about $20,000. So if you don't have that much money, it's probably not going to turn into a successful, feasible, real business for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to make a series probably going through everything in depth, start to finish. But I know that there's a lot of people who are in the space thinking of, I want to start a business, that are now coming to my channel. So I wanted to make this just kind of, here's a quick few things to think about, a few things to avoid, what to think about before you jump in and start your business. Hopefully it helps. If you have questions, need clarification, check out down below. Check out my website if you want to see my products. Order a candle. If you want to see a candle that sells well, if you want to see room spray products that are selling and making money so you can compare it to your own product, order from my website. Check one out. I even give you guys a discount with code YouTube. You can get 20% off. I don't do sales on my website, anything like that. So this is one of the cheapest ways to get my product. But try one out for yourself, burn it, see it, enjoy it, learn from it. And that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you soon.